It's quite the find. Hello friends, and welcome back to Crow's Thrifty Finds. My name is Melanie. So for this week's video, we're going to discuss weird and strange things that sell on eBay. Resellers love to say that weird sells, and I would agree with that. It certainly does. And for this week's video, we are going to discuss things that are weird and strange, but it's kind of a play on words because while some of the items will be weird and strange, basically what I'm going to be discussing is some items that contain the word weird or the word strange. And all of these are BOLOs. They sell fantastic on eBay, so they're things you want to know about that you want to find at garage sales and estate sales and thrift stores, and you want to sell these items and make some really good money on them. So let's get started. Weird item number one is Weird Al. Specifically Weird Al vinyl. These Weird Al records came out at various times. He was very popular in the 90s, and for the vinyls that he made, they're very collectible. And it's not just one album, it's pretty much every album it looks like that he's made, although don't quote me on it because I am not a Weird Al Yankovic expert. So you're gonna wanna look it up and do your homework just in case. But it's good to know as far as vinyls go, because I don't know about you, but I've been to many garage sales and I see a box of records and I think to myself, I don't even know where to begin with this. I don't know what's valuable. I don't. It would take me all day to go through this. The garage is hot. So let me save you some time. If you see Weird Al, you want to pick them up. It doesn't matter if they're new. It doesn't matter if they're used. They sell, and you're more than likely going to make some money on these because, as you can see, these prices that they sell for are decently expensive, and there's more than likely going to be meat on the bones because a lot of the times with records, you're getting them cheap. You're getting them for $1, $2. So yeah, Weird Al. Item number two, we're going to talk about something strange. Actually, we're going to talk about Stranger Things. Stranger Things, the Netflix show. Very popular show. Lots of people really like it. And there's a lot of Stranger Things merch that sells very well on eBay. I know I've sold some Stranger Things Funkos, and they sold for good money. And even though Funkos are kind of not quite as popular as they were, there's definitely still value in the Stranger Things. Thanks, Caesar. I appreciate it. There's definitely some value. That's my parrot, for anybody that doesn't know. He likes to give his 2 cents in my videos. But anyway, Stranger Things. Specifically, I want to talk about a couple of items that are vintage that sell very nicely. There are 2 items that were already pretty collectible and now have become even more collectible since the TV show, because Stranger Things takes place in the past. And so, you know, there's going to be vintage items that are featured that people want to buy, and they want to buy it, and they're going to go to eBay to buy it. So let's talk about those. The first one is the Sharp QT50. This is a really cute radio cassette player, and it sells at a variety of price points, you know, depending on if it works, if it doesn't. But this is one of those things that if you find, and even if it doesn't work, you can still make some decent money on it, because a lot of people are going to buy these not even necessarily to play music on, but just to have on display, you know, in their man cave because they like Stranger Things and it reminds them of the show. So one thing that's important to do with these items is you want to make sure that you put down Stranger Things in the title, because people may not necessarily know that the Sharp QT50 is the cassette player they're looking for, but they're going to search Stranger Things cassette player, and then they're going to find your listing because you put Stranger Things in there. So yeah, it's definitely a good idea to not forget to include that in the title. Just a little tip. Stranger Things item number 2. There is a Sony Walkman. It is the WM8 model. This was very collectible even before Stranger Things came out. So now even since it's become even more collectible. And as you can see, this thing sells, $749.99. That's kind of the high point. But, I've seen it go in, in the $500 range. This is a very collectible, very desirable, decently rare Walkman to find. If you've got the headphones, those orange headphones, that's even better, of course. But this Walkman is a BOLO for sure. It's big money. And some people get them, restored, because again, these cassette players in general, they don't always last throughout the years. They wear out. So it's sometimes worth a little investment to get it fixed if it's one that's, super valuable like this. So, but up to you what you want to do with it. But if you find it, I would recommend selling it. Next, we're going to talk about something else that's weird. We're going to talk about Weird Ball, the Grunt team. These are action figures, and they are from, I think, 1986. And they're something that you could very easily overlook at a garage sale. And it's good to familiarize yourself with them. They look like wrestlers. So they have those like little wrestling outfits on them. So take a good look and be on the lookout for the Grunt team. Next item, something that's strange. We're going to talk about Emily the Strange. This is some serious late 90s Hot Topic kind of thing, this Emily the Strange. A lot of goths really liked the products. And Emily the Strange made a variety of different items, and a lot of them are valuable now, valuable BOLOs to find. So I'm showing you here, there's some plush that, sell around $100. We got shoes that sell for good money, even though they're used. Purses. There's a very large variety of Emily the Strange items, but they all have that kind of gothic, kind of anime-ish kind of look. So if you see Emily the Strange stuff in general, I couldn't even single one thing out, you definitely want to pick it up. Next, we're going to go back to weird. We're going from strange to weird. GoBots. There is one called Weird Wing, and he's actually not the most valuable, but this is the way to make the connection. But Weird Wing is a GoBot. GoBots are made by Bandai, and they're vintage toys, and they sell really well in lots. They sell well individually, especially if they're new. But it's one of those things that you could easily just think is a generic transformer and you might overlook it. But these GoBots, definitely hold some value. They were not quite as popular as the Transformers, and maybe not out there as much, and that's possibly why they carry some value. So Weird Wing, GoBots, be on the lookout. Next, we have a song called Stranger in a Strange Land, and that is by a band called Iron Maiden. So we are going to talk about Iron Maiden next. I've actually met their drummer on more than one occasion. He had a really good connection with an old job that I used to work. And so yeah, I appreciate all that he did for my old job, all that Nico did. But Iron Maiden in general sells very well, but I picked some items from Stranger in a Strange Land specifically just for this strange video. So you've got some t-shirts, you've got you've got records. So again, if you're looking for records, there you go. So yeah, you've got a lot of different Iron Maiden items. Every Iron Maiden item I've ever sold has sold incredibly quickly. There's a big fan base for Iron Maiden. But let me tell you, Iron Maiden stuff I always pick up. Next, I'm going to talk about a couple of comics. And they're both strange and weird. So first off, there is Strange Tales. And I don't know a lot about comics. I'm not claiming to know a lot about comics, but I can tell you that if you see Strange Tales, it's good to look up. And I know how comics go. There's always ones that are more valuable than others. But I apologize for Caesar. He's very loud, and it's probably because I'm doing this at night and they usually make a lot more bird noise when the sun's starting to go down. So this is probably the worst time to do this, and I'll probably never do it at this time again. But thank you all for still listening at this point. Anyway, Strange Tales has a variety of prices. These expensive ones are graded, but you're going to probably see a variety of price points, but just know that there's a lot of value, in some of these comics. So it's worth checking. And the other one is Weird War Tales. And those, I found a lot of these, not even graded or anything, just a whole bunch of them for $407. So if you happen to see a large amount of Weird War Tales comics, definitely want to look those up. So we got Strange Tales and Weird War Tales. So like lots of tales, I guess. But a lot of comics, they're not worth much. But the fact that I saw that big lot of Weird War Tales leads me to believe that, getting lots of that particular one is possibly very much worth your time. And maybe it depends on which issues are in there. But, you do your homework. But I'm throwing them out there because I saw some big dollar values on both. So there's definitely some BOLOs in Strange Tales and Weird War Tales comics. Oh my goodness. This is quite a video this week. It's a strange video this week, right? That's what we were aiming for. Strange and weird, the birds making noise, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, that completes the strange and weird video for this week. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like if you haven't, and feel free to leave a comment about something strange or weird that you've sold. It doesn't need to have the word weird and strange. We'll just throw, the options out there for you to name anything that's weird and strange. So if you've sold anything weird or strange, I'd love to hear it. Weird is fun. So anyway, my name is Melanie, and this is Crow's Thrifty Finds, and I'll see you next week.